Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakening at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up.
Okay, so something is going on. I don't know what it is, but things aren't playing for me this morning, so I'm just going to do the stuff I normally do, just going to do it live. So that's going to be what I do. But I hope you're all having a good one this morning. Was the intro playing okay for you guys? Good morning, Michelle. I see we got Starzy in here. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I think it's just my computer. So let me go through here. I share things out and I make sure that things are in my groups and everything. That's what I do when I come on. So normally I do this while the song is playing. The song wasn't playing for me. So it is what it is. And there we go. We got it shared. And now I go into X and I share it there as well. So there's my background stuff. I did get sent, and I saw she was live last night, but so me and Slug were going to be doing a culture show. It's something he wants to do. I think it's a great thing. Okay, so everyone, I know it didn't update the date. That's part of the problem with the thing. So I'm aware of it. I will fix it. Just give me a moment here. Into the dashboard, content, live. Okay, are we not live on YouTube? It's not showing me in the thing now. It gets so frustrating when there's, oh, good morning, AVA. Gets so, you know what? I was up early this morning, which I've been up early most, like the last 3 days. So I'm doing fine. I'm not tired or anything. It's just very frustrating, having issues with, the stream. Okay, I'm going to change this to the 11th of December. Okay, come on. I know it's all my computer because this stuff is running slow. So that's what it's got to be on the other stuff. Thumbnail. Grab my thumbnail. Where's my coffee one? There we go. Okay. You have culture. Yeah, yeah, I do have some culture. Um, did you not see me in my tuxedo the other night? I'm classy. I'm classy. Oh, but there's a couple shows that Slug wants to talk about. So last night I was on with him and we were discussing, you know, the things that we want to discuss on these on this show that we're going to do. Oh, there's Slug. So I was doing homework. Uh And so I wasn't able to watch Megan Fox, which she put out until this morning. And I watched it this morning. Have you guys all seen what the interview she did with Connie Bruni from Northport? Um, I do clean up nicely. I can clean up pretty well. Good morning, Mussy. Um, you didn't like the singing, huh, Chris? I I enjoy making a fool of myself. You know, if you're not willing to do that, what's the point of doing a show? 4 weeks ago, yeah. Hold on here. Let me grab the give, send, go for you guys so I can also put that. There we go. I'll get this and I'll put it in the chat for you, TC. Um, yeah, uh, TC of Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. He's my co-host on the structured show that we do, which I think we might need to. We've been calling it Veteran Nation Live. I think we may need to separate it more because a lot of people keep calling me Veteran Nation, even though I'm the skipper. The Veteran Nation is the show, it's the channel, all that. Uh, but okay, yeah, we're gonna share this. Uh, but it doesn't bother me that people call me Veteran Nation. I just want people to know that when me and TC do a show, that's the show. So, which the show has gone through various iterations. It started off as Veteran Nation with the sergeant and the skipper, um, and then it switched to Veteran Nation Unchained, um, and then I just started calling it Veteran Nation. And here recently, I've been calling it Veteran Nation Live, so people know it's a live show. Um, this thing is why is it going so slow? Okay, finally, there we go. Copy link. I'm gonna put the link here in the chat to TC. So this is the fundraiser for TC. Um, they've lost income with Mrs. Minnesota Black Robe Regiment being she had a heart attack essentially, um, and with her being in the hospital, they've incurred a lot of bills and a lot of stuff that loss of income, things like that. So they're TC is good people. A lot of the stories he does on his own are all about helping people fighting the government. So, if you haven't checked out Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, please do. Um, I watch his show. He does a lot of stories uh, about our rights. Um, he does a lot about corruption. Focus on my camera, not good, Skipper. Looks fine to me. Unlike the other camera that I did switch out, this one doesn't have the focus issues. So you guys, you can't see me. Um, because as I look, ba, 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 the the live it's saying is ended on Facebook, but it's still saying Sorry. That was yesterday's. I don't get what's going on here with this. So people just might not be able to watch on Facebook. It's looking like frustrating, and it's all because this stupid computer. And I have a feeling it's because of one program that I have running that it asked to install, and I was like, "Oh, I'll install this morning." Sound is in sync, and you're very blurry. Stand by. How about now? Did that fix it? If not, I'll do a change scene. Is this better? You're watching on YouTube. Okay. Let me pull up my YouTube because I don't like it when it's very frustrating for me when things aren't going correctly. Whoa, whoa. There we go. Check, check, check. Yeah, it looks like there's a delay on. So there, I'll do that. I don't like doing this, but I'll do that. I don't get what. Whatever. Whatever. Um. So so frustrating. And I want to complain at Restream, but I know it's not Restream. It's my computer. It is 100% my computer. I guarantee you. But I'll go back and so I was watching Megan's stream, the stream she did last night. I was watching it this morning, and uh, was pretty interesting because she was interviewing Connie Bruni, who was mentioned in John Cook's deposition. And we had heard from her. If DJ Radis jumps in here, or Melissa, some of the people who are kind of OG following this story, uh, we had heard about her, and a couple of us did try to reach out. I can't remember if I did, but I do know people tried to, and she didn't really reach out. So we just assumed, okay, yeah, she wants nothing to do with these people, and eh, for those, if that's how you feel, totally get it. Um, these people are not just not good people. They're people who they're going to mess with you. Like the moment, like there's a lot of guilt by association. They were talking about that on Coop's channel yesterday with Spawn Trooper, how uh, you know they attacked Squid solely because she had come on this show, and that's a problem. People are allowed to talk about stuff, and if that's where if you have problems with people simply because they're discussing a story, a story that, oh, Lynette and John want out there. Lynette has literally ran to uh, the news several times. The only problem is they only want their side out. That is why the leeches are telling people to attack this channel, to copyright strike Tug and Megan and me and all, pretty much anyone talking about it, that if it's not their, um, what do I say? If it's not their narrative, they don't want people discussing it then. And that's exactly what we saw at a Northport. And there were people who were familiar that did talk to some of us early on, and they were like, "Oh yeah, those people, they're a problem." We did not, we suspected that there was CPS calls. We did not know for a fact, but now we know for a fact that there is CPS calls. So I am going to, I think I'm going to write another letter to the state CPS and other organizations and say, look, this goes back several years. Someone did post this morning a picture of Harley Grace wearing glasses and asking, why is she not wearing glasses today? Um, so that's interesting. Um, but I mean, it's possible that, she doesn't need glasses anymore. That is possible. Uh, Rosalind Duke. She's got some funny stuff going this morning. That's funny. Uh, you know, a lot of good people are coming together on this story, which I absolutely love. But yeah, so Megan's interview was very interesting, where she was talking with Connie, and um, yeah, it is hard. We can imagine it's very hard. TC, uh, we're definitely praying for you guys. Anything you need for us, I've just been giving you your space because I know it's difficult and with that and the holidays and everything. You, you take what time you need, and if you need content for your channel and you're too busy, let us know. People like myself and AVA, we can do videos and stuff so that you can be putting things out. Let us know. Um, that's why this channel and the show is named Veteran Nation, not the Skipper, is because this is about other people. It's about veterans, helping veterans, entertaining veterans, and I'll help if there's veterans, trying to get their channels off the ground. I've helped a lot of people. I'm not saying, they got to where they were because of me, nothing like that at all. But, I will bring them on and promote them. You need the distraction. Totally get it. Totally get it. Um, and feel free to text me about the stuff that we were talking about before. Because yeah, I, it'll be a little bit of work, but it's some long-term help we can get you guys. Um, it is funny because there's a program out there. Well, actually, I don't want to get into that yet. I'll finish this about Northport. So yeah, the interview is a really great interview, um, and other people have been calling CPS way back before Jeremy called, way back before I called. So now we know that at least CPS has been known by 3 different individuals since 2022 about that situation, and the we now have multiple counties in Florida, multiple municipalities in Florida. So, uh, yeah, I'm not going to stop. I have no intention of stopping, but I will absolutely write more letters. Like, and they're going to the state and to the DOJ. This is what's going on is very unhealthy. That's clearly, especially the fact that we know that she has abuse in her past, and that there's a possible diagnosis of Munchausen by proxy. Um, that is very concerning. Um, so I'm not going to stop with any of my stuff. Okay, TC. Yeah, look forward to it. Um, I sorry, I got people text. Um, Oh, we got Mr. Coop on here. Welcome, Mr. Coop. You want Compy? Who's Compy? Oh, company? Of course I do. I always love company. Um,
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
did you watch this interview I'm talking about?
The Crazy Connie interview?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
So I didn't
It
watch it yesterday. I could see that she was live. I was just doing other stuff and preparing for this culture stream that we're gonna do. And uh but I did see the cease and desist. And people are always like, I understand her, her reasoning behind the cease and desist. I would have recommended her, Connie, at the time she sent it. You really should have a lawyer do that. Lawyers generally will do those very easily and on the cheap. You can do them yourself. You absolutely can. You definitely want to be de-escalating in your language. You want to, make it very clear that that it's not retaliatory or anything like that, because that's a cease and desist can escalate things, and we saw that with Jeremy and George. Um, as soon as Lynette got the cease and desist, she was saying that her attorney advised her to ignore it. We literally have those screenshots, and she didn't have an attorney.
no, she
She
didn't have no attorney. No, she's
Yeah,
crazy.
and that was just a reason for her and John to amp things up, and you got to be ready for that.
I think that's the motive with them, or the pattern with them. They somebody goes back at them, and they automatically just ramp up everything they're doing. They're not going to talk to me like that.
They Because their basis for things are so flimsy and weak, they go into a fight or flight. And yeah, you see that bolt that they fought back with people like Crazy Connie, and then they left. And they're fighting right now with Jeremy, and when they lose, they're gonna leave. Guarantee you.
Megan and Connie actually got very emotional. Connie was crying. So
Mhm.
was so was Megan during that interview, and it was, of course, Megan. She kind of cut that part out, but you could tell that they were very upset, and it was all to do with the child.
Yeah.
They had a lot of concerns in Northport about the child, just as much as what they're having in Otter Creek.
Yeah. And the fact that we have not just a county DCF, we have a state DCF that's failing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
That's and when people, when in my letter, I'm not going to talk about Megan's channel. I will cite her as Pajamas Media, Pajamas Media writer, um, because the state, that's a national publication, and it's very well known. I've been reading Pajamas Media since easily 2004, 2005, easily.
It's pretty sad. I mean, you take somebody like John and Lynette, and I bet you if you go back to where they were before they hit Northport, I bet the same stuff even happened there.
Oh yeah. Well, that's exactly what you see. Um, I found it ironic that there was a dispute over signs, um, not of anyone putting up signs calling someone, an arpist, but there were, a dispute of signs being taken down.
Right. It's pretty wild. I mean, it shows a pattern of
Yeah.
misbehavior that I assume there's people out there like Lynette and John that I've just never seen them I
have
just
with
don't get it.
that's because I do a lot of work with mental illness and people who are mentally ill because that's, we have a lot of that in our veteran ranks.
But Connie did say that if she's needed for court and Jeremy needs to use her, she is more than willing to travel up there for court. It's
Yeah,
it
I
is
believe she will testify. Um,
Crook brought her right into it during the deposition, so he opened the door. So she's willing to walk through it and testify.
um, and people who are mentally ill go in cycles. And I'm guilty of this myself. My own PTSD has caused me to go into cycles. Um, it's a cycle, uh, generally of bad behavior, but it can also be a cycle of good behavior. Um, and you'll go, you'll follow the same patterns over and over. And like I remember a friend of mine who was dating a lot of guys who were bearded guys who work out, and it kept escalating into um, not just arguments, but like almost domestic violence situations. And she was like, "What am I doing wrong?" And I was like, "You're chasing after the exact same guy." I go, What do you want in a guy?" And she was like, "I want a guy who's tall. I want a guy who's bearded, who's in shape." And I'm like, "Okay." And a lot of the guys that she was going after were veterans, and I'm like, "Yeah, we're a broken group. We are very broken." I go, "You need to find a guy who has similar qualities, who like doesn't uh, what do I say? Who doesn't exert these behaviors." And I was like pointing out some of the behaviors that was across the board on at least three different guys that she had dated. And what's funny is the next guy that she dated, she met because she was a yoga instructor, and I believe he came to one of her classes, and like completely different than all the others. And they fell in love. They're now married, have kids. So as soon as you break the cycle, things get healthier. But there's a lot of comfort in the cycle.
Yep.
And that's
Speaking of PTSD,
Mhm.
the way I was raised growing up, you know, I didn't I didn't look at mental issues the way most people today look at them. I didn't believe in PTSD. I didn't believe in depression. I didn't believe in any of that kind of stuff. I always believed it's a frame of mind. You have the choice to control your feelings and the way you feel. But in 2016, 2 o'clock in the morning, I think I told you about this. Police banging on our door had nothing to do with us. They were looking for somebody, but we were in dead asleep.
Mhm.
Banging on our door. I answered the door. They asked their questions. They left. And it took me almost 5 years before I could get to go back to sleep at night, to where I could go to bed without worrying. And I consider that PTSD. I mean,
Yeah.
I could not go to sleep. That's where my insomnia was born. And I would go to bed and I would sit there and just lay awake because I was worried. Okay, are they going to beat on my door again?
Mhm.
I mean, it's not severe like what you guys went through in the military and stuff, but that.
And here's the thing, it can affect people to varying degrees, but it can also get better and get worse.
So my frame of mind and my thinking on the depression and the PTSD has changed considerably from when I was younger because, like I said, being Gen X, your parents just rub some dirt on it, you'll be all right. We weren't raised to think about mental illness or stuff like that. My little brother, he was one of those people that ran around every time he'd get upset. I'm gonna kill myself. Well, long story short, he pulled that shit one night, and the whole family was sitting around the table. I just went right out to the truck, got my gun, brought it in the house, stuck it on the table. I said, "Here, I'm tired of listening to your shit. Either do it or shut up." And eventually, I cocked the gun and said, "Here, do it or shut up." Man, you should have seen my mom, my stepdad. Their jaws were just hitting the table, and he stopped. But that was when I was 20, early 20s, But I've changed my way of thinking on a lot of this stuff
You
because it
know,
happened to me.
what people don't realize is the subtle stuff. Like people who stay busy, like people who are busy all the time, a lot of times that's a trauma response. They're staying busy because they can't sit alone with their thoughts because they have PTSD. And that's what I mean. Like when I say it can get better or it can get worse, if you have someone who's constantly ignoring the symptoms and just doing what, well, this feels good for now, it can get worse and you won't know it, but that PTSD is a wound and that wound can fester.
I agree completely because after that happened to me, I was I would literally stay up long enough to where I was so tired that my body just had to go to sleep. That's the only way I could sleep because I was worried about the next knock on the front door. But yeah, I totally agree with you. It's some crazy shit.
Yeah, so be wary if you find that you're in any type of cycle. And here's the thing, it's going to be hard for you to recognize it because you're too close to it, for all of you out there. But if you have a friend that's pointing things out to you, because they'll see it before you do, um, you know, listen to them and take some advice. It's a hard pill to swallow. I didn't believe I had PTSD the first time. My one friend, she said to me, "You have PTSD," and I was like, "Do you think so?" And she was like, "Oh yeah." She was like, "It's all over you."
I do. Well, you were talking about how people throw themselves into work trying to ignore it and stuff like that. Well, with me being retired and working from home out of my shop, well, I'm in there with nobody else, just myself. And as you're working, you're isolated. Your mind is just constantly going and going and going. And with no other interaction through 99% of the day, that just keeps compounding it over and over and over, making it worse and worse and worse, in my opinion,
Mhm.
in my case. And the wife, she was worried for quite a while about it, but I got it under control now, thanks to a lot of good people that talked to me and helped me get over it. Now I can actually go to bed.
I'll tell you, that's if there's one group that I could, just thank collectively, it's the chaplain corps of the military. Uh, I know everyone focuses on the religious aspect. There's a reason why we have a chaplain corps. It's so people in the military who are not allowed to talk about their certain things, you have someone within your command who is straight up only there to counsel you. And I've spent I've spent some time, sitting with them. It normally starts with just a casual conversation. Um, but yeah, I've had to deal with some hard things in my life, way before I actually started in therapy, and it was the chaplain corps. And that's why when my friend told me, she was like, "Yeah, you have PTSD," I was like, "Well, I'll go to therapy." Like right then and there, I was like, "You believe I have it? Then I should go to therapy." Um, and I'm a firm believer that people like John and Lynette, they're the people who would say, "No, I don't need therapy." They're the ones who need it the most.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
And we've got mental illness in my family, like in my extended family. Um, Luckily, I don't have to deal with it, uh, with my brothers and my parents, but I've had aunts and cousins and uncles, where it's like I look back now and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a clear sign of mental illness. And I've had to, you know, cut off family members, cut contact and stuff like that. And that's where people really have a problem. They're like, you shouldn't cut out family. You have to set up boundaries, healthy boundaries. And, you know, like me and my brother, we had to have a very direct conversation because he had a problem with me cutting out a family member. And I was like, because I still had contact with them in another avenue. And I was like, no, this is my boundary. I'm putting this up for my life. You can do what you want, but I'm doing this. And, it's all about, me keeping healthy people that I want in my life.
Oh, I agree. I mean, like I mentioned before, being Gen X was a whole different world than what you see today, and it's just it's hard to explain. But you think about all of the illnesses that have come out over the last 20-25 years, like ADHD, PTSD, all this stuff that when I was growing up, my parents would have said, "Oh, that child just needs a belt." You know, if you're hyperactive, bouncing off the walls, oh, send them outside, let them run around and run it off. Well, now they've got all this stuff diagnosed as okay. This child's got ADHD, or this child's got depression, or this child's got some other 16-letter problem. But it's hard for us to relearn things, but we do eventually.
Mhm.
And to see, like you said, I'm very bad about putting people out of my life. You get on my last nerve, you're gone. I don't care who you are. And I agree with you. You've got to try and figure out a way to work with it.
Mhm.
And again, my process of thinking is, okay, if you're starting a problem right now, this problem's only going to continue down the road. So just bye. You're gone. I'm sending you down the road. I don't want nothing to do with you. My ex-wife's father, he did not like me from day one. When my daughter was born, we took her up to see him. And I said, would you like to hold your daughter? That's no grandchild of mine. Okay. I went in, looked at the wife, and I said, well, me and Jesse's leaving. You can stay here if you want, but we're out. Never saw that man again.
Mhm.
And I don't regret it,
I
but
was going back and forth on Facebook yesterday with Ed. Ed, who likes to make lots of comments in
yeah,
the Leeches chat. Don't know if you saw it,
I know him.
but he was saying, "Stop harassing me." I'm like, "I'm not harassing you. I'm literally just posting YouTube comments," and or I'm just posting Facebook comments. And what was funny is it was all in a thread that I started where I took a video of the Leeches threatening this channel, threatening to copyright strike this channel. And I told him, do it, do it. You like, there's nothing for you to copyright strike. I have never shown any of their videos on this channel. Uh, the other day when they were talking, and I had the video, if you guys remember, I zoomed in so you couldn't see the video. You could only hear their audio. There's a reason I did that. I'm not showing their videos on my channel. Not because, you know, it has nothing to do with me wanting to steal their content or anything. It all has to do with, like, yeah, we'll talk about what they said for accountability, but beyond that, I don't want to show their stuff. I'm not going to promote them.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, I was laughing because Ed's one of their flying monkeys, and you
Yep.
can always tell, when someone's got unhealthy behavior because they'll always have flying monkeys. And here's the thing, they're going to say the same thing about me, that I'm one of Jeremy's flying monkeys. But I been involved with this story for well over a year. And you, which, by the way, oh, as of yesterday, this time last year, Jeremy had a gag order on him, by the
Yep.
way. So just remember that. Uh, but yeah, I was keeping everything about this story all in the Facebook groups where we were discussing it. I wasn't talking about it on this channel until almost it was a year ago in January where I posted a town meeting. And that's when I really started talking about this. Um, but like, and there are people like you ignore Jeremy's bad behaviors. I don't. Um, there's things Jeremy does that I'm like, well, that's on him. Uh, but I don't openly attack people unless they are attacking others. And it's just a matter of that side is got incredibly bad behavior, has been, and they're quite consistent with it.
That's going to be a topic that we're going to discuss on my show today is the people that follow Jeremy that's been there since the beginning and know what's going on versus the individuals that haven't been there.
Mhm.
And
Well,
nothing
that's one
bad about
tactic.
do what now?
That's one tactic their people use. They'll create a new account and come in and pretend like they're all brand new to this and they don't know anything.
Right. And it's not to the topic we're going to discuss isn't to put any one particular person down because there's a lot of people that have not been there from the beginning that I do support in what they say, like Tug and Megan.
Mm-hmm.
They're going off the knowledge they have at hand now, but they don't really know the whole story because they haven't followed it like you and I and our little group has followed it.
I think they do now because of people like myself and DJ Radis and a couple others who've been sending them screenshots.
Well, I'm talking about like some of the most basic, simple topics that are brought up involving Jeremy and some of the problems they don't know the answers to, and it's not a bad thing. It's just there you can tell they haven't been with Jeremy from the beginning, watching this unfold, like you and I and DJ Radis and all of them. And your channel and my channel are the only two channels out there that have followed Jeremy from the beginning and just recently started talking about it. I mean, you haven't been talking about it for very long at all, as you've known about it, but you haven't had it on your show. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I was starting, I did a couple things in May of 2023. Actually, I did one YouTube short where I discussed the battle with the town. And that was purely my interest. All the stuff with John Lynette, I thought was just funny because of their reaction. They take Facebook so seriously. And all you had to do was just make a couple comments and they would go off. And here's one thing I pointed out to Megan. Bruce and John Cook operate the same way. If a woman says something, they're going to be immediately in their DMs, in their email, threatening them. Threatening, like, I'm going to release pictures of your grandkids. I'm going to do this. Like, and it's really horrible, nasty stuff. Now, John, when it comes to men, he'll be quiet unless he's armed.
Exactly. He's
So
a coward.
Yeah, it's a very weak man syndrome.
Spawn, he speaks about that when I'm silent is when you need to watch out. And I can relate to that because when I first took my wife out for the very first time, it was definitely a eye-opening event for her. But we'll get into that later. Anyway, I agree with you, man. It's just John's one of those type people. Either he's going to be drunk or he's going to be armed before he confronts a male.
there you go. Like that's one thing Connie was talking in that interview was how drunk he gets, and like, oh, like she was talking that they would be at some place at 6 in the morning and he was already drunk. It's like, ooh, and that's why I knew when he came out of the jail, he had been uh, what's the term? He had been dry.
Recovery. Oh,
No,
dry.
he had
Yeah,
dried out.
dried out.
And I was like, oh, and I jokingly said, who wants to send him a bottle? Because that wouldn't last. And
He,
based upon what we know from Jeremy's deposition and the new stuff, the new harassment that Jeremy has not posted about, I can tell you without a doubt, he is absolutely drinking again.
oh, no doubt that picture they put up. What did it say? 5 months sober.
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit.
No, he's drinking again.
Bullshit. I guarantee the day he got out, he was hitting the bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that he's holding up a phone saying, Your Honor, this is what we have to do. Yeah, he's drunk. He's drunk.
Yeah, his behavior is exactly the same as it was before he went into jail. It's
Mhm.
he's still drinking. And that's my opinion, guys. I have no proof about it. It's just my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All this is our opinion based off of stuff that we've seen, our educated opinions.
But back to your little discussion about Ed, those kind of people it's funny because he's sitting there accusing you of harassing him. Well, he's the one that interjected himself into your conversation.
Yeah, right.
So how are you harassing him when he opened the door for you to walk in?
And all I was saying things like, hey, tell Fat Lisa to stop harassing people. Tell her to stop breaking the law.
I could understand if it was his post and you went onto his post saying those things, but he came onto your shit.
Exactly. And they have their flying monkeys. And a big one is Marla Hughes. And I'll tell you where I'm going to go back. I just need to spend the time. Back when Russ the Sus canceled the town meeting, that would have been March of 2023, March or April. I can't remember which, but Channel 20 was there and they posted about it on Facebook. And that was my introduction to Marla Hughes, as she was in the comments saying that Jeremy was flooding town hall with people and supporters, and that's why it was canceled. And we know that that's completely false, but that shows you she just makes shit up in her mind.
Oh, her and Lisa Lee are two peas in a pod. You get that?
Oh, look, we've got a troll. You guys are nasty until you walk in their shoes. You shouldn't judge by the way you're not educated. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We haven't been following this story since 2023. Okay, Diane.
Yeah.
And see, look, I'm willing to put up the hate comments. You don't see the leeches doing that. They just block people. They don't want the discussion. They just want to control the discussion.
I've been lucky. We haven't had very many of those people mess with me, and the few that we have had, that's where I have to have a talk with my little mods. Say, hey, be nice. As long as they're not hateful, we're not going to be hateful.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the mods know as long as they're not personally attacking people, they can
say.
Yeah, like they're giving me views, they're giving me content.
Yep, just like I tell Squid, every subscription, every comment, every dislike, that's cha-ching, 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 straight to the bank. But yeah.
Marla Hughes kept telling that case to go after Jeremy. Oh, she's still saying that. She is still saying that. She's what we in the Marine Corps would call a sea lawyer. Like she's an expert on everything if you ask her. She is definitely an expert in her own mind.
Was it Sharon that just asked what a flying monkey was a while ago? I think it was Sharon. It was somebody in the comments asked what a flying monkey was. Go watch Wizard of the Oz. You'll see what a flying monkey is.
Uh, When it comes to mental health, a flying monkey is normally an abuser or an abuser or a person who's like a narcissist. They need others to pick up the mantle and do their dirty work. And it normally comes in like a family member after you go no contact. They'll get other family members to then bombard the person enforcing a boundary. uh, they'll bombard them with text messages, emails, telling them what a bad person they are. And I'll give you an example. When I was a teenager, uh, one side of my family, the aunts and uncles, there were signs that they were just not good people and just didn't really care about us. And then it became they actively started trying to interfere in my parents' marriage. And, that's never going to work out well for the kids. Like if you start doing that to anybody, their kids are going to turn on you. And that's exactly what me and my brothers, and we were like, we don't want to be around these people. So we went no contact. And I remember my dad's cousins, a couple of them just started calling, and still to this day, like a couple years ago, my brother got some weird Facebook messages. They still to this day will come and attack us. And it's like, do you think that's gonna make us change our mind? Like, it just shows you that you're a useful idiot. Oh, Diane says she's watched from the beginning.
Oh yeah,
Journey
no,
through
she hasn't.
everyone.
If
No, you
she's
haven't.
watched from the beginning, and if she, that's like I was saying here a while back. I didn't go off of just what Jeremy said in the beginning. I actually went over and watched Lynette and her friends and neighbors group.
Ladies and
And
gentlemen, Diane is a flying monkey.
yeah, I watched both sides, and I never saw Jeremy get vile and hateful all over social media like Lynette did. Some of the things that Lynette said would make a
Yeah.
sailor blush in those groups. And it wasn't just her groups. She was going into local community groups where they are in Otter
Yeah.
Creek, like
They were creating groups.
exactly what's
Yeah.
up in Levy County. That's an actual Levy County group where those people have nothing to do with Jeremy, but that's potential customers. Her and John were going in groups
Yeah.
like that, trashing them.
Jeremy,
So
in May of 2023, sent a cease and desist letter, and Lynette publicly posted she would not follow it, Diane.
exactly.
And I love that Diane's here because she's really highlighting how these people operate. See, she's automatically attacking me as a veteran. Um, I don't really care. Like, I don't care about Diane's opinion. But notice how they immediately go after that. That is a tactic I've seen so many different times. Like, you can't argue what I'm talking about effectively, so you're going to try to attack my service.
So
Uh,
let me ask Diane. You just made a comment. My dad was a vet. He didn't act like it. Act like what? Defending a stance that we believe in?
your dad raised a piece of shit.
I
There we go,
mean,
Diane.
we watched both sides. We have an opinion. So just because our opinion differs from yours
Yeah.
and those hate mongers, we're bad people. I'm asking a serious question. We're bad people because our opinion is different from theirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But I laugh. This is, you know, I've not afraid. Like, people come in hating on Jeremy, I put up their comments. I will, and they normally do turn into attacking me when I refute them. Same thing. I've had Bruce on the channel, and he was welcome on the channel until he lost his damn mind and started threatening me. Lisa has to. I already have a police report against Lisa because of threats, and I'm documented. I'm documenting it. Uh, you know, I've told people, I've had discussions with my lawyer. We have a plan in place. Uh, certain things that we were expecting to happen haven't happened. That's why we haven't pulled the trigger on anything legal yet. But yet, who's threatening out there to attack this channel? I'm not
Exactly.
threatening. I'm not threatening. I'm telling people, look, do not do anything to the Leech's channel. Do not do anything to Stupid Dave's channel. Like, they have a right to talk about this stuff.
Yeah,
If you want to go watch it, go watch it. I
I
don't
stay
recommend it.
away from them. I mean, I don't comment in their comment boards. I'm not a subscriber to any of them. I don't go in there and harass their people. Yes, do I talk about the stupid shit that comes out of their mouth? Yes, I do, sir. Yes, I do. But I don't harass them and I don't go near them as
Mhm.
far as publicly posting my opinion about them on their channels. I don't. To me, they're not worth my time. And
It's 7:15. I am gonna have to get going in a few minutes, so just letting you know.
okay, you just let me know, bro.
Uh, uh, I just don't want people like Diane to think they're running me off. I literally just have to go and go through my work day. Um,
Yeah, hey, that's fine. That's fine. Because I'm. That's the reason why I changed my time to 11 o'clock. Because I wanted to be able to catch you, and we weren't overlapping each other. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And are you guys going live today?
Yeah, 11 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday we take the days off.
Okay, okay.
If we go live at night, that's just a whim thing. I'm not really setting anything like that in stone, but it will be every morning 11 to whenever we decide we're done. I think yesterday we did 4 hours.
I'll give a challenge to Diane. Go watch the interview of Megan Fox with County Bernie, and then come back here, and I would be interested in your take on it because I know what you're going to do. You're just going to attack. You're going to attack Connie. E- Everyone's a liar except for John Lynette. Everyone's a liar. That is, you are a flying monkey.
I'm not going to attack this Diane person. I mean, she has the right to her opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel that it's wrong. And if she's been there from day one and she feels that Jeremy's wrong, well, she's
Notice
just,
I match the
she's
energy they bring to me. Diane
right,
comes in
right.
here and attacks me as a veteran. So I turn around and, oh, okay, well, your dad raised a piece of shit. Again, matching your energy.
Right.
You want to bring that to me? I'll match it. Veterans, I'll tell you something about veterans. We will go as low as you want to fucking go. Like you, you want to come in here and bring that? Yeah, we will go just as low as you are. Um, but we think of the adage, I am veterans, we are no better friend and no worse enemy.
That's another Ed situation. She
Yeah.
invited herself into this conversation, so
Yep.
therefore she can't claim harassment or bullying or any of that shit. She's the one came in
Which is,
here.
think about this. It's because they just can't stand people not believing the narrative that Bubbles, John, Lynette, and Lisa and Tori are trying to put out there.
Now Megan she brought up this exact thing last night on hers and Tug's stream, and I can't remember what she called it. Uh, and now it's just out of my head. But she was talking about this very thing to where if you say the sky is blue, they're going to automatically say it's red.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to
Combative.
fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
combative. That's it. Just to fight with somebody. And if you notice, that side of the fence, the hate channels have had hardly any growth whatsoever, and their numbers are always the almost exact same haters. So they've got a small group that listen to them, and they're all the same. They're all combative people that they will argue just to argue.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of them don't care about the situation. They just want to argue.
This is a little bit off topic, but it's something I do want to say publicly. I really feel for Shara
Yes.
because I think what she's doing is incredibly brave. I do want to say that publicly, and I have told her that privately. But you have to know, as a journalist, it really sucks when you get burned by a source. And that's exactly what happened, is
Yep.
she got burned by John and Lynette, and it makes you sick to your stomach when it happens. So that's why people like myself and Megan Fox, why we can have a lot of empathy when stuff like that happens.
It's that
I love
that
your ringtone.
yeah, that's my Yahoo, my mail. But yeah, Shara, I'll be the first one to say I was right on the shart, the shart jokelist thing there for a long time. But you know, she's actually seen the light because they actually did it to her. And now that they've turned on her, she's got the goodies.
The
Char
the
Char's
handwriting
not
expert, son and father, they're not gonna be used in court. That was just a tactic for content. When Bruce and these people say things, they're projecting. So when
right.
he says, "Oh, this motion is only the motion that they filed is only for YouTube content," he's telling on himself.
Yeah, it's they're all a bunch of morons. I mean, Bruce is probably the worst lawyer I've ever seen.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
he's pretty foolish. I it's been so entertaining reading his motions. It's like,
yes,
dude, like, and don't get me wrong, sometimes lawyers can bring in emotion and use it effectively, but that's all he brings. That's
right.
all he brings.
He's absolutely clueless when it comes to what to do. I mean, everybody sits there and say he baited Jeremy. Yeah, he baited him,
Yeah.
but not many lawyers, like we were discussing this yesterday. Take for instance, me and you're suing me. You're my lawyer, okay, and you're going out and you're fighting my case online against, say, Spawn. You don't think Spawn's going to take that personally? You fighting my case on
Um,
social media,
and it's
attacking
such a
him on
bad
social media,
strategy.
and before they even went into the deposition, Jeremy already had hostile intent in his mind because he's been attacked by the man that's supposed to be representing the evil people he's suing.
Yeah.
So there's going to be emotion there. I mean, because the guy is not a lawyer. He's put himself into the pot as a defendant, in my opinion. That even makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, he's a waste of space. I'm gonna
Sorry,
love
I'm
it.
just getting
They're already begging for money for him to send him to Florida. I mean, my God, you take on a case pro bono, and you don't have the money to get to where you need to go. Oh, y'all, y'all start working on that cruise money now. Now, brother, if you got to go, you just let me know because
um actually I just let some people know I'll probably stick around for a little bit. Um I don't have anything pressing this morning.
because I'm scheduled for 11, so I'll be out of here shortly.
I was up early scanning documents and sending them because, as I've talked about before, I've got a federal contracting business trying to do stuff overseas. So I've done quite a bit already this morning um, with that. So I won't be needed as because normally I'm needed like right away.
There you go.
So I'll probably take a couple hours this morning and
So it seems that the chat must have devoured Diane enough. She's gone.
oh,
But
I
you're welcome.
guarantee it. She's still here. She's just this is what happens with the flying monkeys when people stick together and call them out, they run. They run. And
Exactly.
the, Cook is very much a flying monkey. He's very much an abuser, but he's also very much a flying monkey.
Exactly.
A lawyer with no money is a bad lawyer. That is true. 100%, Philip.
I think his thing is I think oh, what's his name, Randy, is basically doing the same thing with the thumbnail case and the other case against the six. Uh, he'll take it pro bono because it's the right thing to do, but he knows he's going to countersue to recomp the money he puts into it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what Bruce is either wanting a settlement out of Jeremy or he's wanting to countersue down the road.
Yeah, he thought he could get this dismissed, most likely on a technicality, and that would be his thing to either, countersue, get a settlement.
I mean, he's got exactly what he wanted from day one. I mean,
And
he's
I had
he
one of
wanted
my attorneys tell me years ago, to do a lawsuit with the intent to get a settlement, you're already starting out. You're starting out one step behind and a day late and a dollar short, essentially. Um, I'm trying to think of the actual verbiage. He was like, "Yeah, that's a bad strategy."
yeah, yeah. Well, that goes back to that ambulance chasing thing. You know, those guys are the most nasty, vile people. They'll do anything for that dollar, and
Yeah.
they'll say
It,
anything. And he it offends him when people call him an ambulance chaser, but it's true. That's exactly what he is.
oh, absolutely, and
He
that's
chased her down.
that's why you shouldn't be litigious, is because you know if you don't have the money to see something completely through, a case completely through, you're at a strategic disadvantage, especially when you're going up against someone like Jeremy that has the means to take this all the way through a really long, expensive trial.
Exactly.
Like, uh, yeah,
You heard Michelle clear as day on her little message. She wants to sue and she wants him to settle so she'll get
yeah.
enough money to pay for everything she wants to pay for and get rid of John. That
There's
was
a strategy.
premeditated. This happened right after the cease and desist was sent. Before anybody even went to court, she said that. So she already had a plan in her mind.
Yep, yep. There's a strategy that Bruce and Randy could use if they chose to, and that's a bankruptcy strategy. From now, we know that there's a tentative date for trial in August, and they could, if they chose to, try to bankrupt them from now until then. Just do tons of motions, tons of things that are going to cost money, that knowing that they can't pay for a lot of this stuff.
Did you see Gary's post here? Bubbles' motion to not be a defendant was denied.
Oh yeah,
I,
yeah.
I didn't know about that. So
Uh,
that the judge is literally thinking
well,
about putting him on as a defendant.
is it the motion to add him, or was it his motion to strike the motion to add him? Because there were two motions out there. There's the motion to add him, and then he's got a motion to deny that, and then he's got a motion to strike the motion. And that was the one that Squid had on that got denied within less than an hour, where the Squid read it, and by the time she was done with her stream, the magistrate had already said, "Yeah, that's denied." Because he's going to have to respond to Jeremy's, and I haven't seen his response on that yet. So I think if you were to look up the case right now, he has not been added as a defendant yet. It'll happen. It will happen, and I have zero doubts that people like Stupid Dave, Doug Hembry, I'm trying to think who else, Marla Hughes, Patty, like they'll be added as well.
The little dark web queen, whatever her name was.
Yeah, okay.
Out in California.
They're saying that the motion to strike is the one that was denied, not the motion to actually add him. because that's the other thing. The defense can respond to motions, or really, whenever there's a motion, the opposing party can respond several different ways and multiple ways.
All right, brother man. I'm gonna get off of here and I'm gonna get ready for my upcoming. I sent you the link if you would like to join us. I sent you the link where you can pair if you would like.
Okay.
I've got 30 minutes. So, chat, you have been wonderful.
I'm
Wonderful.
definitely going to get off here and restart my computer because it's running slow. And
All right.
I think I know what program is slowing it down, so I'll cancel that.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, brother. It's been a pleasure.
Georgie's saying to check our messages. Hold on. I saw that you were messaging me.
Oh, she's wanting the link. We just ignored you. You got 30 minutes. Get ready.
I had already sent the link. It was in the YouTube. How do you think Coop got in here?
Yeah, I had to go dig it because my link that I had originally is no good anymore. So I had to go dig it out of the Vag Nation. But anyway, brother, thank you so much for having me on. It's been fun. Guys in the chat, have a good day. I will see you guys later.
Thank you to Mr. Coop. You guys, I'll probably jump if I'm still here. I'll jump in on that. So yeah, thank you to Mr. Coop, but definitely check him out in half an hour. Him and Georgie, they'll be doing their coffee stream. I'll be done with my coffee by that point. I do have a limitation on coffee. But definitely also in the interim, check out Megan Fox's interview with Connie if you haven't already. That's a really good interview, and during the interview she puts up some great documents. And make sure to if you can go to the Give Send Go. We've already raised over $3,000 for TC of Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. Please give to that. They had a medical emergency. They lost income. They've got medical bills. So if you could, please go in there and assist with them. If you are so blessed and can bless people this holiday season, TC does a lot of good work for people. And go check out his Freedom Flock. If you can't want or can't donate, just go turn on his stream in the background of, he's got the chickens. Do that. I know he'll appreciate that. So thank you all for joining. The song is not going to play because I'm having so many issues with my computer. So when I end this, it's just going to end. So just FYI. But if you guys need me, I will be around. I don't know we'll see if something updates or happens today. But you all have a great day. And as usual, thank you